What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to my page. Today I will be updating you guys on my home buying process. So the last thing I told you guys was that my underwriter was lying about submitting my paperwork to the underwriters, which I'm not tripping. It's a part of the game. It is what it is, right? So he finally had submitted it to the underwriters, and it came back with conditions. And those three conditions were: so I have a business that my tax person filed during my 2021 tax return, and he documented a loss, and so I needed to explain that loss, because had I been dependent on that business money to get a house, I wouldn't have been able to get a house. My counselor, I'm not sure what the semantics of that situation is, but that's what my counselor told me. So I had to prove, or I had to write a letter telling them that I didn't depend on that income, which I didn't. Any money that I get from my businesses are in its own account. It does not go to my personal account whatsoever. So I just needed to explain that in a letter to let the underwriter know that that loss did not impact me whatsoever. I also had to update one of my bank accounts, but I used it as a savings account. They were saying I didn't have a few of the month's bank statements, and I tried to get those, and they wasn't on the website. And I'm trying to figure out, like, why don't I have 3 months worth of statements on my website, on this website? And so I had to call Michigan. It was Michigan First. I had to call Michigan First and ask them what was going on. And they said, well, you haven't had any activity in this account for the last 3 months, so there's nothing to update, so we don't provide statements for that. And I said, okay, that makes sense. And I told my counselor that, and he was like, okay, well, do you have some type of documentation that proves that? And so only thing I could think of was screenshotting the actual website that had the current balance and my name and, you know, what the bank account was. And so I sent that to him, and he accepted it. And I think that was it. So it was actually 2, not 3. So I gave all that to him, and he said, cool, I'm gonna go ahead and resubmit it. And so he resubmitted it. A couple days later, I heard back from the underwriter. Well, I didn't hear from the underwriter. I heard from my counselor. And my counselor emailed me asking if I had some time that day to talk. And I immediately emailed him back and said, yep, I'm free right now. But he didn't respond. So I was getting kind of antsy, because I'm like, yo, what's going on? You usually never try to meet the same day. So he didn't respond, and then I called him. He didn't answer. So the next day I actually had a regular, a scheduled appointment with him. And so we got on a Zoom, and he explained to me what the situation was. Met with him, and he told me 3 things that was needed. And those 3 things were: I needed Marcel to sign something for a joint account. I needed an updated license for him because it was expired. And then 3, I needed to upload my last bank statement for my checking account, which I did upload to NACA's website, but for whatever reason they didn't get it. And that happens a lot. Just for warning you guys, I upload a lot of stuff to the portal. It's called the NACA portal, right? And a lot of times my counselor doesn't get it for whatever reason, so he'll frequently ask me to, you know, submit it to him. And that can be frustrating, but again, I know the game, and it's like, whatever. I have everything that I submit to the portal into a file, and so it's easy to just access it and email it to him. One thing about me is I don't get mad at stuff that I already know is gonna happen, so I carry that in life. So anyway, so I submit these things to him, and immediately he responds with, okay, so now I need to explain the transactions for that last bank account. For, I think they were all Cash App transactions. And so he sent me this. And so this is what he sent me with all of the transactions from Cash App. And as you can see on here, they have a $20 transaction that I needed to explain. I laughed. I laughed at that, and I went into my Cash App, and each and every transaction I saw what it was, and so I just put it in the description. So little stuff like this, it can be tedious, but you have to train your mind to not to get mad at the little stuff. So yeah. So I filled it all out that same day, and I submitted it to him, and so he said that he will submitted to underwriter, and that was earlier this week. And so I'm looking forward to hearing from the underwriter, because this is the second or third time where I have gotten a condition sent back. And so hopefully they looked at everything. Hopefully everything is good to go, and I can finally get pre-approved so I can start looking for a house. That's it, y'all. That's the update. Thank y'all for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Peace.